Hi, I'm Wendell G. reporting in from the 2042 season of the Worldtopia Baseball League. The date is August the 11th. And this is just some test footage while I kind of work out, figuring out how I'm going to do this. I'm currently teamless. I resigned from the Key West Parrot Heads of the old Utopia Baseball League about 20 years ago, and since then I've left baseball. I've had some time away from it, and this new Worldtopia Baseball League has been catching my attention lately, and I thought I would just do a few broadcasts with the WBN team here and bring you up to date, bring myself up to date really. The weekly team power rankings are very telling. The top four teams in the power rankings are pretty much the top four teams in the leagues. Amsterdam, clear and away the powerhouse, dominant team of the WBL. Helsingborg, perennially chasing Amsterdam, at least in the modern era, current era. And Moscow, perennially chasing Helsingborg for currently in third place in the North League. Down in the South League, Best League, Key West has a lock on things with Buffalo, False Bay in Australia, and Buenos Aires far behind. Looks to me like none of these teams are actively tanking it. In fact, Las Vegas just made a move themselves to try and be competitive. But at this point, Las Vegas does have a leg up in the race for the 1-1 pick in the 2042 draft. So, Worldtopia Baseball League, 16 teams and 16 owners, 2 divisions. It was formed, I don't know, a few years ago, somewhere around 8 to 10 seasons ago, back in April of this year. It's now August. And so this team has a lot of this league has a lot of history, and it's a very active league. 1 week is simmed each night, and there's basically, it's just a steamroller that just keeps on rolling. So Amsterdam is run and owned and GM'd by the commissioner of the league, OU11, and OU11 does a yeoman's job of keeping the league up to date and keeping things rolling, making the trades. I don't know how he has time to do all this kind of stuff. All I can figure is he does his job, he does this, and he tries to get 8 hours of sleep a night. Other than that, don't know what he can possibly do besides that. I wanted to recap some of the major transactions that have happened in recent times and see if we can sort of deconstruct those transactions. Most recently, False Bay Flying Whales traded 20-year-old pitcher Arthur Everhart to the Pac-Man, getting 33-year-old second baseman Gabriel Ramos in return. I don't know what False Bay gets out of this. They're not going to compete for the wild card this year, are they? Let's go back and look. Maybe they are. There's one wild card spot, and I mean, there's nobody going to compete for that spot unless they've expanded the playoffs, and I don't know what I'm talking about here. If there are 4 wild card teams, then that would make sense. They would be in the running for the 4th team, but there's no way False Bay is in the wild card hunt if there's just one wild card, one sacrificial lamb. So I know what Las Vegas gets out of it. They get a 20-year-old prospect who could come into the league and contribute in a few years. Maybe not a top contributor, but maybe a 4th or 5th arm. Cincinnati Nitrous, maybe that's nice. That's a good team name. Everhart, at the very least, he could be a long guy out of the bullpen. 62% ground ball percentage, holds runners 70%, pretty good for a righty, for a northpaw. A good velocity on his pitches. Doesn't have great stamina though, so he might not be suitable candidate for a starting pitching role. At the very least, he's a young guy, and Las Vegas dumps Gabriel Ramos when his $6 million a year salary. He's a $6 million man, although he is extremely popular, and that's a bonus for some teams who are struggling with attendance. Okay, we had some major transactions on July 14th, and I guess let's deconstruct this one. Istanbul trades 22-year-old minor league starting pitcher Pedro Ramirez and 23-year-old first baseman Jay Britton to the Helsingborg Hammers, getting 25-year-old second baseman Jesus Bernal and 26-year-old first baseman Marvin Tomkinson. Let's check out Marvin Tomkinson. So Helsingborg gets rookie talent, gets young talent, and Istanbul gets production right now. So is Istanbul making a push? They're in fourth place. They're 25 games back. You got to ask yourself why, man. Why? Why would you do that? I don't know. I guess Istanbul is positioning for next season, getting a proven first baseman with great power, switch hitter. He's hasn't done so well with the Ottomans so far this season, hitting 174. But in fact, it's a pretty lousy performance below the Mendoza line, right? Jesus Bernal, second baseman. Bernal plays second base. You would hope he would play short and third, but instead of a middle infielder, he's basically just a 2B'er. But he has got great power, man. Look at this power. This might be the centerpiece. Flat tire might be the centerpiece of the trade. However, he's only hitting 235 down at Istanbul. You got to wonder about Istanbul's stadium. Maybe it's hard to hit down there. Big fences and big outfield and narrow infield. Don't know. Jesus looks like a good second baseman. Mediocre shortstop. These ratings are between 20 and 80, so 40 to 50 is mediocre average. Anything under 40 is bad. Anything over 50 is good. So, in return, Pedro Ramirez goes to Helsingborg to the farm system, and good land. Why would you trade Rat? Oh my word! Look at this guy. He's a right-handed thrower. Woo! Maybe Istanbul saw something in this guy they didn't like. 96, 98 miles an hour, 61% ground balls. Good land. I don't get this trade at all. Oh wow! Unless Istanbul is loaded with starting pitching. What about Jay Britton? Oh, good word. Woo. Now, he's not hitting for Helsingborg right yet, but his ratings look fantastic. Now, this is the OOTP Scouting Association ratings page. So, it's, the scouts will be seeing different things. Man, that looked like a tough deal to me, man, unless draft picks were involved. Buenos Aires dumps 29-year-old reliever Haroun Al-Rashid bin Ajar. Actually, Buenos Aires gets bin Ajar, and probably, I thought his salary, but maybe there was a draft pick involved. The other trade of the day, the third trade of the day, Buenos Aires traded Joe Kirk, second baseman, and minor league second baseman Joe Kirk and minor league starting pitcher Salome Sacramento to Kabul, getting 29-year-old right fielder Matt Weaver. So Buenos Aires gets this guy. Strong contact hitter, not a guy who's going to strike out much. Let's see, what kind of a fielder is he? Good right fielder. Plays the entire infield. I don't know why they got him playing right field. This guy's a middle infielder, basically. Great utility player, let's say a good utility player. Hits well for contact. Got a little bit of power. It's good, decent guy, decent contract, man. I like this guy. He's set at first base now. His rating at first base is 80, but he can play the entire infield, first, second, third, and short, without too much of a hit. Excellent third baseman. Just elite first baseman. Only knock is he's a right-handed hitter. He might be yeah, he's gotten 394 at bats, so he's definitely a starter this year. But okay, I would slot this guy more to utility, but certainly he can go in the very low grade. Very low grade. He's 29 years old, only making $833,000. That's awesome. Look like his contract is up this year, though. Let's see. So to get him, Buenos Aires had to trade away Joe Kirk, second baseman Joe Kirk. Okay, not bad. This guy plays shortstop, more of a natural shortstop. Plays second base well. Plays the outfield decent. Third base decent. Decent, just a utility fielder here. This guy's decent at 22, or at least his ratings, he projects to be decent. And 22-year-old Salome Sacramento. He projects to be a decent starting pitcher, too. Nothing spectacular, bottom of rotation guy if he fills out expectations, OSA expectations. Except he's a left-hander. Yeah, he could be a left-hand spot reliever or a left-hand spot starter. You know, a matchup kind of a guy that you put up, slot in on the 7-day schedule against a left-handed lineup. Kind of spring a surprise on him. That'd be pretty cool. So that's an interesting trade. I really like Matt Weaver, and looked like a pretty even trade here. I just don't know what to think about this trade for Bernal and Tompkinson. Istanbul, man, I don't know what Yankee was thinking or drinking. Whew. Okay, let's see if this trade with Istanbul worked out better. Istanbul got 28-year-old shortstop Kiyomitsu. Oh man, I'm gonna axe these names. 28, not a bad contract, decent average, great shortstop, third baseman, outstanding infielder. He could probably cross-train into second and first if he needed to. He'd probably play all the outfield too. This guy looks like a utility kind of a guy. Not going to hurt you too bad when he needs to play, but he's got enough at bats as if he were a starter. So that's who Istanbul got to begin with, or got for the trade. They sent away David Alcaraz, outfielder, left field, center right. Looks like he's being trained to play center field in boot camp here. The Sun Sox. Decent outfielder. No great projections. Really fast and speedy. Gookster would have liked that guy. He likes the speed. And 20-year-old minor league starting pitcher Eulogio Felizardo. Wow, another fine, projected to be a fine pitcher if his control comes around. I bet this was why Yankee moved him, because I bet this guy might have control issues, you know. It's when the gap between the current and the potential is really big that you just have to wonder about these guys. But he's getting plenty of innings this year down in UA, A-League, unrestricted A. I don't know what that means. UA. He's getting some good innings. Fascinating. Felizardo will be a guy to watch. It's as if Istanbul expects to compete pretty quick. What else happened? Okay, that was the 4 trades of that day. On July 7th, here's the big blockbuster. Oh my word. Okay. Let's start with the Amsterdam side of it. Amsterdam and Istanbul, OU11 and Yankee. Let's see what Amsterdam gets. Zach Campbell, 20-year-older. Look at his projections. completely elite. 95, 97, high stamina, high enough. 63% ground ball rate. I can totally see why OU went after this guy. He's popular as a minor leaguer. Last resort. So, woo. OU likes these pitchers with great projections. So I can totally see that. The other thing, Amsterdam got, the Tulips got Francisco Rojas. Look at this guy's projections, and look at, he is already pretty darn close to his projections. In fact, at age 22, he's played on the big league club, and the OSA Scouting Association says he's already achieved his potential at age 22. Switch hitting, catcher, good defensive catcher, 60-60. He has got a 65 rating at catcher, 60 arm, 60 ability. That means he's going to make the Amsterdam rotation better. Help them settle down and pitch better. Oh, wow, man. Wow, wow, wow. Great power. Well, yes, great power. Not elite, but great power. So far with Amsterdam, he's only hitting 222 this year, and 74 strikeouts versus 79 hits. So are these ratings a bust? They might be. Wouldn't be the first time we had that, especially with a catcher. But Amsterdam gave up a lot for this guy. 25-year-old catcher Gabriel Weiss, who is hitting 245 for Istanbul with a 460 slugging. And he's a good catcher, 60 arms, 50 ability, 55 rating at catcher. He's got good gap power and good eye. However, he has struck out 67 times this year versus 59 walks and 89 hits. OBP, I like this kind of a guy. 356 OBP, he's going to get on base, and he's popular, and he's at the major league minimum. Nice pickup. I like him. 25. Looks like he's got enough reps to be the starting catcher, but maybe a platoon catcher. Also, the Tulips traded away 28-year-old center fielder Raul Salazar to Istanbul, and he's hitting 279 with a 535 slugging, 28 home runs. Ant is beaning this ball, man. Look, he's got a elite power rating. Plays center field, defensively outstanding. This is excellent. Unfortunately, he just got injured, and I should be checking for injury. He busted a rib chasing down a fly ball. Must have hit the wall. But he is a current All-Star, current year All-Star. Also in the trade, Istanbul also got left fielder Kevin Lipinski, age 25, hitting 256 with a 419 slugging, 11 home runs. Plays left field outstanding. So nice. He was a third round pick. He was a 3-1 pick in 2035. This guy has still got ceiling, and he's doing, he looks pretty good. I mean, I've been looking at his potential, and I started to say he's an excellent value, but kind of depends on if he actually achieves this potential. He's 25. He might be pretty close to ceilinged out. 37 strikeouts versus 90 hits, though. He's going to get on base, or he's going to put the ball in play. Let's say that. Starting pitcher Samuel Seguin, Penguin. Samuel Seguin, age 19. He projects to be a good-looking starter way out in the future. He's got some years to mature. Potentially a good-looking starter pitcher. And left fielder prospect Jesse Haswell, who projects to be a power hitter, but he's 22. This guy might be a bust. He plays left and right pretty well. He's got a cannon of an arm out there in the outfield, but he's hitting 236 down double-A ball. Haswell might be a bust. There was also some draft picks involved, and I won't go into that because I don't know what they were. So that was a blockbuster, and I thought when I first saw it, when OU traded away Zach Campbell and Francisco Rojas, I thought, man, here goes OU busting up his team again. But actually, when he traded away all this talent, Weiss, Salazar, Lipinski, Seguin, Haswell, and he's getting Rojas, but he's getting value for his money. He's getting a couple of superstars, I think. And there was a Kerry Corrigan trade. Amsterdam sent Kerry Corrigan to Istanbul. I don't know if that was connected to the other trade, and I don't know what kind of other considerations were involved. He's playing an A-League ball right now. There's the A-League. What else? It's the same day. Buenos Aires had a trade with the Australia All Whites. 33-year-old starting pitcher Pedro Hernandez went to the All Whites. This guy looks outstanding on a cheap contract. Outstanding. Man, my old Key West team, he'd be in the rotation. What's he got? 1.21 whip, 4.23 ERA? Heck yeah. He'd be in my rotation. A 69-40 K to BP ratio, only giving up 10 home runs in 117 innings. Oh, yeah. He's pitched himself to a 6-9 record, but only because he's not getting run support. I like this guy. He is 33, however, so he's going to be falling off. And what did let's see, what did Buenos Aires get in return? 35-year-old starting pitcher Jorge Lopez. Pretty average. $5 million contract, age 35, plus minor league third baseman Moritz Vanden Bosch. Plays third base defensively extremely well. Average ratings, pretty bad eye. Down in AAA ball, he's pretty short sample size. He's hitting 300. So it's not bad. In AAA, hitting 300. That's not bad. Maybe he's better than those ratings imply. So I don't know what the purpose of this trade was. You trade one pitcher for another one similar, but you get a prospect. Yeah. Well, I think Australia was moving salary, and Lopez $5 million of salary. How much is, and Hernandez is making $2 million. Yeah. Okay. All right. What else is going on down here? Monday, June the 30th. That's all of July. Istanbul has been very, very darn active this year. They traded a pile of players to Buenos Aires, to the Gauchos. In return, they got Arturo Colomo and some cash. Colomo has not performed for Istanbul. At least that's what I've been reading on the forums. His splits look good. 1.26 whip and a 4.25 ERA. His record is 8-9. He started 20 games, pitched 125 innings, 17 home runs. Oh, great strikeout to walk ratio. Oh God, he's making $16 million. Age 30, making $16 million. Signed through 2044. He's popular. Nutopia. Where's his 25? Oh, I see the problem. His ERA down at Istanbul, he's 1-3 in 6 starts, 1-3 with a 6.19 ERA and a 1.62 WHIP. I wonder what's going on with that. I wonder if Istanbul is a hitter's ballpark. Is there a way I can tell? Is there a way I can? Well, we'll look later. Pitchers. That's when I joined the Nutopia Baseball League. The very first thing I looked at was my ballpark parameters, and it turned out I looked at my ballpark parameters, and I was really struggling with how I wanted to build the team. I kind of didn't know, and then like on the second day, I just started looking at the ballpark parameters, and I checked them against the rest of the league, and I realized that we were pitching in a ginormous ballpark, a pitcher's ballpark, and so I began acquiring pitchers who keep the ball on the ground. In retrospect, I could have gotten pitchers who pitch fly ball outs, because we have a huge outfield, or down in Margarita Field, the old defunct Margarita Field. We had a huge outfield, and our outfielders could just run under the ball and catch it. But instead, I focused on ground ball pitchers, and we did very well. You know, we rose up through the ranks and were usually competitive in the South in the Nutopia Baseball League. I think it was the South League. I don't remember how our leagues were structured. Southeast? That's right, the East Southeast, the Big Easy, the ESE, East Southeast League. Man, I just don't know about this trade. Borderline starting pitcher. Borderline? Why border? I guess because his third pitch, the changeup, is rated at 35. Yeah. So, a pitcher past his prime, maybe, with a huge contract, who's not getting it done. And in return, what did they give up? 27-year-old starter Joel Millen, making the major league. Good night. Ooh. They gave up a fantastic starting pitcher. Had he underperformed? Well, he's performing better in Buenos Aires. Well, not really. His ERA is better, but because the defense, I presume, is better at Buenos Aires, the Gauchos, but his whip was a lot better in Istanbul. He's a fantastic pitcher. So they gave up him. 24-year-old minor league second baseman Anthony Zhao. A long shot. Great middle infielder, utility kind of a guy. He's hitting in AAA. He's hitting .216. He doesn't have a lot of ceiling on contact though. So that was kind of a moving a unperforming prospect. Single A pitcher Miguel Moreno, who's going to overcome his control problem. He's not projected to be better than low average in control. So, and 27-year-old starting minor league third baseman, sort of a meh. So those players went to Buenos Aires in return for Coloma. Millen for Coloma. Cheaper and younger and better in return for older, way more expensive. And, you know, I have never really trusted guys who have very high stuff rating. It used to be that OOTP stuff was, the conventional wisdom was stuff was where it's at. But I kind of always had my doubts about it. I never was a stuff. I mean, I'd love to have a pitcher with a lot of stuff, but first movement and then control was two things I looked at. And it seemed to work out for me, but I could have been deluding myself. So, that was the big trade on June 30th. The week before that, Pac-Man traded 27-year-old starter Nung Tang Reptile. Fantastic looking oh my word, fantastic looking starting pitcher. Making $10 million, $9 million a year. This is an elite starting pitcher. I'm guessing this guy started 22 games, 9-8 record, 380. I'm guessing this guy is one of the, he's a lefty. Cairo. I'm guessing this guy is one of the beasts of the league. In return, Cairo sent 21-year-old starting pitcher Rod Velasquez. Yeah, he projects to be good, making a major league minimum, but playing in Double-A ball. Yeah. Maybe there was a draft pick involved, but it looks like Vegas is not planning to compete for a few more years, and so they traded Tang to Cairo, who can, well, I started to say Cairo, who can compete now, but no, Cairo is mired real down close to the cellar. Tang is their ace, though, for sure. Well, this recording has been going on for a while. I'm going to make a cut here, and I'll be back. That was the June 23rd trade. I kind of don't understand that from either one of these guys' perspective, unless Cairo. I think Cairo really believes they're going to pull it together in a year or two, and Tang would be the guy to help them pull it together. Looks like some contract extensions happening there. All right, we got some big blockbusters happening back in the middle of June. I'll make a cut here and I'll be back.